Welcome back, YouTube family, to Money Talk and Bullshit Walk. This is an excited week for me, and the past couple of weeks has been really disturbing and inspirational at the same time. So, welcome back. This is the show where we talk about money, how to make it, save it, and invest it. As we all know what's going on with the corona pandemic, and we have a pandemic and top of a pandemic, which is the killing of George Floyd. And the country is sad about it, and my condolence goes out to the family. And it has been a huge parade and protesting going on uh, countrywide, nationwide, and worldwide, supporting black people and Black Lives Matter. So I don't know if you saw me. I went out there to show my support and to be a part of Black Lives Matter. I'm black. My family is black, and it was. I was really excited about it. It was really peaceful. I didn't see anyone doing anything that they wasn't supposed to be doing. Uh, they would have had. They had different speakers coming up, and then we start marching, chanting, and we pretty much made a 360. We went a couple blocks. We probably walked about 2 miles, and we were escorted by the police, who were very respectable. I'm happy for that. And people was orderly. There wasn't any odd stuff going on. So Black Lives Matter, and because I talk about money, I'm saying black money matters. Black people money matters, and that's one of the way we're going to come about. That's one of the way we're going to get some changes in support for Black Lives Matter and black money matters. We just got to realize how much our money matters. So I'm going to speak a little bit about our money, as I've been speaking for some weeks now, trying to get people in general and black people to realize how much their money matters and how to safeguard it and to protect it. And in times like these is when we need to unify it and have a plan. So once again, I'm happy to be back. Thank you guys for joining me. And I have some stuff I want to share with you. I'm going to jump right into it. My past videos have been, recent videos have been about getting discounts, lowering your credit card rates, calling different providers, whether it's your internet. I'm just kind of recapping some of the things I've said, and it has worked out. And I had a lot of questions come in, and so I'm going to go over a couple of them. So I had a question come in, and what do I think about rent to own, which is you getting a property from someone, signing an agreement so that you will pay an upfront fee, and then you will pay a monthly fee, and then after a couple of years, depending on the contract or the term that you sign, you will be able to apply for a loan and buy the house outright. So my thing about it is about first of all, you gotta have probably $5,000 to $10,000 to put down to sign a contract. Your credit don't needs to be good, and you gotta have a steady job. You got to have, to pretty much show the source of your income and be able to pay a monthly rent, which is going to be rent. You're pretty much going to be renting when we're talking about rent to own. So it's a rent. So you put down your money, you pay for, let's say, for example, they kind of calculate that within 2 years of you paying rent, you will develop some paperwork showing or some credit showing your steadily payment, and by then you will have a contract that you had signed with the rent to own company that you will be able to take to the bank and prove to them that you made a down payment and you have been paying rent for the last 2 years, and now you want to qualify for a loan and buy the property, which pretty much changing it from a rent to own situation to a mortgage. So it's a good plan if you have a plan. It's a good plan if you have a family and you're working together and you decide your credit is not so good and this is what you want to do. So it is a good plan. But the downside is that if you don't have a good plan, you will be putting down $5,000 to $10,000, and if you don't pay or you default in any way, you lose that money. You don't get that money back. It's not like you renting and you put down a first month to move in and a last month security, and if the place is in good shape, depending on how well you treat it or how long you've been there, you could receive your down payment back. This is a different situation. So if you put down that 5 to 10,000, which most people ask for, and you default and move or decide you don't want to live in that state, don't like the area for some reason, more than likely your down payment you won't get back. So that's a basic explanation of rent to own. That's what it is. So that's one of the questions I had. So I said let me speak on it a little bit and give an idea what it is. So I had another question about getting a pay raise and what's the average pay raise that someone will ask for. Because I know I encourage you guys to ask for a pay raise, and someone wants to know what's the average pay raise that a company would normally give, and this person is a essential worker. So she did not describe what type of work she does, so I'm going to speak on a medium, if I could use medium range. Let's say, for example, a cashier, a bus driver. Normally you would get $1 raise. If you could get $1 raise as a bus driver, cashier, or a home care giver, it will be good. Normally the raise is like within $1 an hour. So if you're making $14 an hour and you go in and you ask for a raise because you're hard, you get to work, you work, it's you had the time. It's time. It's pretty much just the time for you to get a raise. You know, you've been here a year, and despite what's going on, you should still get a raise. So it's normally $1. If you could get $1 for every year, it's not bad. Depending, like I mentioned, cashiers, grocery store workers, home care workers. It's a little bit different for home care workers, because if you're working at the same place, they will give you $1 approximately. But if you change jobs and you said here is some certificate of what you some certificate of some sort in that line of work or field of work. You could ask if you were making 40, now you could ask for 20. It's up to them and your service or the demand that will predict how much raise you would get. So it would be it wouldn't essentially be a raise, but if you change job, you could ask for more right out the door. But if you work there for a certain amount of time, then most employer will want to give you a dollar raise. So I just wanted to touch base on that a little bit to give people or the person that asked me that question some idea. So it's normally a dollar raise, and then there's other things that you could negotiate. For example, I know a lot of people that are working in a specific field, and they have been going to school. They have been going to school to increase their knowledge, to move pretty much to the next level, and so that's one area you will want to negotiate with the company either before you go to school, or you could investigate, if I get this degree or this certificate or this qualification, what pay scale this or bracket this will put me in. Because it actually happened to me. I was working for a construction company, and then I wanted more money. It's funny. So I decided I was worth more, a lot more than they were paying me. I was real happy at the time of how much I was making. They were actually paying me a lot, but based on the stuff that I did, I knew that my value had went up because I had started studying more. So once I started studying and I approached the owner of the company and I said, this is what I'm doing and this is what I'm studying, and I've been here X amount of years, and they gave me a huge raise, and I was well pleased. So these things I'm talking about is experiences that I've been through, things that I've done, things that I've tried, and it works. It do works. You gotta have a plan. You gotta have a goal. For kids, whether it's a plan to buy a house for a family, whether it's a plan to get better equipment for us to do a job, you just don't want to be working year in, year out, year in, year out, and then a situation occurs like Corona, and then you don't have your job anymore, and then you got to start selling off stuff, or you don't have your emergency fund. You're so frustrated. It just don't make sense to me, and that's why that's one of the reason I'm created this show, Money Talk and Bullshit Walk. So it's pretty much bullshit for you to be working your ass all the time, don't have no money set aside, don't have no plans how to increase the money you're making. You gotta have a plan to make more. Imagine you're a young couple, 25, just got married, you have your first kid, she has a job, you have a job, and life is good. You rent an apartment, your money is combined, and life is good, and you don't save a penny. Then next thing you know, there's another kid on the way, or maybe another kid. You didn't have a plan to increase your wages. You didn't have a plan to make more money. These are the things that are keeping us behind. These are the things that we should be thinking about whenever we start a family, whenever we get a job, whenever we're going to school. Okay, I want to be a mechanic. You go to school, you pay a lot for your education. Somehow you pay off your student loan, you happy, you're making whatever an hour, but you don't have a plan how you're gonna save your money, how you're gonna retire, and how you're gonna increase how much you're making. It's pretty much 40 hours a week if you think about it. We could only work so much hours a day, but we also got to have a plan how we're going to increase our weekly, bi-weekly or monthly or yearly salary. We got to have a plan. So a lot of people go back to school, get a degree, and top of the degree they get more qualified or specialized in whatever they're doing. Maybe you have a bachelor, you get a doctorate, whatever it is, you have to have a plan. So you have a plan to increase how much money you're making. What will you do with that money now? You're going to go buy everything that's glittering. Don't do that. That's the bullshit. That's the bullshit I'm talking about. You have your credit card, you go and you run it up. That's the bullshit. Don't do that. Try to pay off all your credit cards, and if you could do without them, like I said last week, those nice big expensive billings, you're paying for it. I'm paying for it if I do the same. So be very careful of how you spend your money. Be very careful of how you spend your money. I had to say it twice. You know, I used to be the same. I used to have a credit card that I only paid a minimum. Until I start studying finances and looking at my statement, I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed of myself, putting myself into that position that is out of control. Uh, you know, like we all think we're smart and we all hold ourselves to a high esteem, and yet we're doing stuff with our finances that is so ridiculous. And that's the stuff I call bullshit. No more. I'm not going to put myself into debt. I'm going to always work myself out and stay out. Stay out. So, Black Lives Matter. One of the things I've been hearing is that most of the black leaders and the black community pretty much talking about some of the ways we could have effective change concerning the abuse of black people, and they all is going to bring up finance. This is what I know for a fact. It's all going to work right back around to finance. And until we as a people understand the power of our finance, have a plan for our finance, and stop giving our money away, I'm not saying things won't change, but it's going to take longer. It's going to take so long that our kids are going to suffer. We are going to suffer. They're going to see what we're doing. We're going to pass it on for generation and generation. We need to take hold of our finance and support black businesses. So I've been a black business owner since I was 21 years old. I had my own business. And I was a black young guy struggling, wanted to be an entrepreneur. And I started, took the chance, and I got a lot of support from black people. And that was a wonderful experience at that young age for me. I started a laundromat. I was 21 when I started my laundromat. And then I started a grocery store. That was the other business that I opened next to each other. And I was living in a all black community, pretty much, with a couple Hispanic, but it was pretty much dominantly black. And I had good support. I would never say that black people don't support black people, but black people need to take the chance, and strive, work hard to open your own business and live your dream. There's a couple things that could happen, which is still going to be positive. You start, you get the experience, you fail. So starting is good, experience is great, failure is encouragement that when you do it again, you do it better. Let me say it again. Starting is great. You actually think it, plan it, and execute it. While you're doing it, it's great experience. And if you fail, you know what mistake not to make again. And that will make you rather stronger, plan better when you go back and you try it again. And trying it again, you could change whatever business type. I've learned so much from having business at a young age that as soon as someone come to me with an idea or with an investment, trying to get me personally to invest, no, right off the bat, tell me about it. I said, like, pretty much, tell me about it. I hear the pitch it to me, and I'm like, no, you don't have your priorities straight. You're doing it for the wrong reason. That's one of the other problems. Once you're trying to be an entrepreneur, having your own business, you got to do it for the right reasons. You got to do it because you have a passion. You got to do it because you have a solid plan. You can't do it because someone else is doing it. It's not going to work. You're going to run out of gas real fast. So you got to have solid, hard, concrete reason why you should do it, and you should do it. So this is a time where I like to see more people in general open their own business. To me, this is the perfect time. If you're young, you have some money, or you don't have money, or you don't have a job, and you've been thinking of an idea for a long time, this is a perfect time. A lot of people might disagree, but this is a perfect time for you to try your business. Let me tell you why. First of all, we all have an excuse at this time. Anything that goes wrong, well, it's Corona. Everybody has been saying that everything that's going wrong is all in the pandemic, the COVID-19. So a lot of business is going away for a couple of reasons. They're going away because where they're located, they probably made a bad choice from the beginning. They're going away of what they're selling. Nobody's buying. They're going away because they just wasn't making it from the start. All these places are going to be for lease, for sale. All these places are going to be for lease or for sale. And the price for leasing is going to be real low. You could pretty much, you got better negotiation power right now. You could sign a lease and probably get it for 12 that. Pretty much, you could lock in a rate for the next 5 years. But you got to have a plan and a strategy. And don't forget, the location is very important. So there's going to be so much commercial property. It's ridiculous. I go to work every day and I see all these places for sale, for lease, for lease, for lease, for lease. And if you're a young person out there, male or female, this is a great opportunity. There's going to be some great location. So this is a good time for you to take your chances. The bank have programs that will loan you money just to open a business. They normally, when you lease a place, they will give you a 3 months grace period for you to go in and remodel, and based on the type of business, for you to set it up that type of way. You could negotiate that to probably 4 months. You could lock in a rate that's unbelievable based on the service you're going to be providing and or what you're selling. So this is still a very, very good time to open a business. And you have nothing to lose. Like I said before, you're going to be living your dreams. You're going to get the experience. And if somehow or some reason you fail, you know exactly what not to do again. So thank you, my YouTube family, for joining me. Black Lives Matter, and I'm trying to raise awareness that black money is as important as black lives. Thank you once again. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Thank you. Peace out. God bless.